out of laning phase unscathed. That combo is disgustingly strong, and I think it also really provides even more access for Dokdom into the backline with the Plasma stacks. That top lane matchup, though, I can't wait to see, because we have seen the top lane Rek'Sai come back a little bit, Zeus included, but I was going to look into the Sion. I think that, especially if you can get an early lead, could be really oppressive to play into, as can't believe that game one, we're just getting the Rek'Sai immediately here for Hanwha.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I mean, they're holding on to some picks that they can obviously utilize in the future for the top lane. From stuff that was left available, you know, we had Ambessa banned, we had Gwen banned, the Aurora was going mid lane, so it kind of felt like a good opportunity when a lot of stuff was taken away that's high tier. And so we're going to get to see it firsthand here in game number one. Alongside of Kai'Sa in game number one for Dokdom. We'll see how that pans out as we're ready. Let's hop into the rift for game number one. All right, game number one on the cards here. The winner of this goes directly to the grand finals at Inspire Arena. They don't have to play any kind of lower finals or any of this. They have earned their spot here, and they're looking to earn their spot directly into the finals.
And if you're wondering why the Rex has come back, we had the tank Rex, I think, last year meta for a while, which was not very fun and interactive for everyone playing into it. It did get a little silly. I remember we had I think it was spring playoffs as well, that was kind of, we saw it a lot, and the amount of healing it was doing in skirmishes was ridiculous. But
there was no Fearless.
Yes, there was not. A couple of patches ago, they changed her E, and I'm pretty sure that this was, they've kind of, is one of those things that they keep going back and forth on, has the true damage back, which I'm pretty sure at Max Fury it used to have, then it was taken away, is now back, which is, I think, one of the reasons why we've seen the Rek'Sai, particularly into tank matchups, where obviously you can get a lot of value. As we do have something that we've already seen this playoffs, it's coming through again, which is the lane swap to come through here. So we have Dokdom by himself in the top lane, as the Kai'Sa, and especially level 1, is going to be feeling good. Zeus already taking a big chunk there from the isolated Q, and normally you'd obviously be very happy to go and brawl with the Sion level 1. Instead, I think level 2 you still have a good amount of threat, but you got to be careful, because Kai'Sa definitely has a ton of damage here, especially if you can get you isolated.
Yeah, it's essentially just a free-ranged into melee matchup in the top lane, but you're not playing top Kai'Sa. It's your 80 carry, so it gets you a lot of value. The Sion doesn't need a lot of farm, doesn't need a ton of XP. Yes, can fall behind the Rek'Sai a little bit faster this way because he's sharing XP, but doesn't really matter because Sion just functions in a certain way, and eventually you just leave anyway as the Rakan, and Peter is just going towards the mid lane and leaving the Sion solo farm.
And that does make sense, as Delight is waiting here. They're going to be able to find Cuz here, but I don't know. There's not really anyone else in position. They do know the blue buff is being taken, so they know Cuz is on the bottom half of the map, which should be enough to buy some safety here, as he's going to, I think, just spot him for now. Peanut might make his way over. I don't think Cuz is going to check this brush.
Cuz might get into a lot of trouble if he was going to step up there. He's going back towards his blue. They have a ward in the Tri Brush, and he's already here. Peanut, as in the jungle he goes. Delight setting this one up. Cuz with a very large flash to get away, but he still will lose his blue buff.
I love this play here from Hanwha Life. So what they do is they obviously... KT is expecting him to match the lane swap. Delight goes missing. That makes sense. He needs to travel towards top lane to try and match Peter, who's playing towards the top half of the map, and obviously could be playing towards his bot as well, but Corki is so self-sufficient. Makes sense that you make the read that he would be going towards the top end. Instead, gets a very early invade. Do note, he was snuck in there, and Cuz knew something was up, because he did actually ward in the Tri-Brush, but he was already there, and as a result, this lane state is horrible, by the way. Zeus does have Delight on the way now to help him out. They're going to get the flash out of Cuz. It's a big win here early on for Hanwha Life. And it's, again, the preparation is... Oh, no.
Peanut hiding on Bush, and Viper already on top of him with the Valkyrie. First blood given over to Viper. As Zombie Scion is getting in there. Viper probably going to have to go for a barrier here, but no. Not scared, not as scared as I am, and he holds on to it. As now we got a gank up on the top side, but that is Rek'Sai, pretty difficult to lock down.
And Zeus, yeah, if this was tank Rek'Sai, I'd be feeling a lot better in this 1v2, but that was gutted for good reason. So this wave state is still really rough. Viper not going to be nearly as buttered though, as he did just pick up a kill, courtesy of Peanut. Really is making his impact known, and this goes back to, I think, the topic of the day. The preparation for Hanwha Live in that series against T1 was impeccable. And I think we're seeing it again here. I was actually wondering, because Peanut started topside, and Jarvan is one of the few junglers that can't, that's very cute, actually reliably gank no matter where he is, right? As soon as he has access to level 2.
Yeah.
But instead just path to bot, and I was like, I don't know, maybe you could punish top. He had a plan in mind. It worked out nicely.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to see Peanut finding so much success here very early on in this match. As now we've just got the two bottom lanes in the top lane and just the standard top laners in the bottom side. As the Rek'Sai actually being denied a lot more farm behind 7 CS. But very curious to see how this matchup is going to play out.
There you see that maximum Fury E. Emax as well, going to be doing a crazy amount of damage here to Perfect. Zeus just relying on space damage for now, only sitting on a Ruby Crystal, as we do see, I don't think they spotted Cuz there, but it's so hard to lock down this Rek'Sai. So it does look like they are going to just give up, which I do think makes sense given the prio, as well as the fact that you'd rather be the Aurora Rek'Sai Jarvan than the Scion and Talia if you are looking for a 3v3 skirmish.
Yeah, absolutely. As Hanwha Life Esports, they have not taken a first dragon, as was highlighted by our pre-show. They're going to get their first one here. KT Rolster were actually first in playoffs amongst all their games. They had something like a 66% rate of getting this first Drake. This time it will go over to Hanwha Life Esports, and it's a mountain, so not half bad. Not the best first Drake you can get, but still going to be an early objective, as now Delight trying to bully Cuz here just a little bit. Viper is coming down, gets knocked up, but that's the grand entrance down. A dodge on the wind becomes lightning, and now Viper is totally safe and has the whole team behind him. Everything utilized to try to take down the Corki, who's totally safe, and that's going to be 2 kills going over to Hanwha Life Esports.
And that is 3 kills. 1 feat already picked up here by Hanwha Life. As, oh, get me a replay of that skirmish. A lot of movement there. But you gotta question the decision for KT to really go in aggressive on these type of skirmishes. Particularly when you don't have your Rakan ultimate yet. And I think they need 6 so much more than Hanwha Live does, who also did have their ultimates available. But I think in these early skirmishes are always going to be feeling good. As we take a look here, because as you can see, KT, both the jungler and support, so far up here. Viper with a really nice sidestep. And then even though Viper gets trapped here, he has both some, so he's at no point ever unsafe, as the Jarvan prio pays off massively. Zeka ends up being paid handsomely as well. And that is KT, I think, kind of overplaying their hand. You really want to try and play with a numbers advantage when you have Kai'Sa and Talia specifically. Didn't end up coming to fruition, and that is a big cost, because that's going to be the Grubs as well. Hanwha Life running this early game.
Yeah, Hanwha just coming to this playoffs looking like they're ready to win a championship. I don't know what it is, but their form in the regular season, it was good. I mean, they still got second place, but at the same time, it wasn't this good. I'll tell you that. So KT running into a brick wall at first here in the beginning of game 1. It is totally run by the side of HLE. They got the first objective. They got the first 3 kills, the feats of warfare. Now they're going to get a second objective as well, with all 3 of the Grubs being taken here. And so far we haven't had as much of an impact out of Cuz. He tried to make that gank up on the top side onto the Rek'Sai at one time, but outside of that, has just been kind of relegated to farming.
But it's because of the plan that Hanwha had, right? Like, particularly in a Bruiser versus Bruiser matchup is...
All right, Viper, really testing himself here. He does still have the flash, as he's trying to get out. There's the flash, and he will be able to, with the help of Delight, after a bit of a whoopsie. And a nice play from Peter and Duckdown.
Mistake from Viper there, really nicely punished by the KT bot lane. Fighting back a little bit there. Getting the kill would have been nice, but just getting the sums is still a big deal as, oh, he is sticking around with his refillable.
Yeah, they want to go for the play as Duckdom is kind of in no man's land here, getting engaged on. And he can only run towards trying to get the kill, though. One last auto, he will at least be able to do that, but it's still a kill being given over to Viper as well. He had to flash to get out of that one. Duckdom kind of in a wonky spot.
Yeah, the 1-for-1 saves it from being a complete disaster, but it's still Duckdom who ends up having to flash, ends up having to give up the wave here, so he's going to be falling further behind in the CS department. And there isn't really anything on the cross-map for KT, right? Like the topside play ends up working out nicely for Hanwha anyway. Viper gets accelerated towards 2-item spike, should be getting close towards the Triforce sooner rather than later. And these 1-item spikes for Hanwha are kind of disgusting, Veldas. I'm a little worried.
Yes.
Because we have obviously Sundered Sky, but at least Cuz will get that one as well down the line, because that lead isn't that big. But there's also Zeka versus BD when it comes to his actual first item impact. Because it's going to be Leandri's versus Seraph's. And not even Seraph's with the
Archangel Staff.
It's going to be Archangel Staff.
250 stacks or something, very sad. Against the 2-0, Leandri's finished Aurora.
Yep.
And this Aurora, I mean, it was picked very early on. It obviously is still quite high tier here at the LCK, and it was flexible. I feel like it was a great pick to pick up. It was like tier list drafting from HLE, but it made sense because it was so flexible alongside of the Corki. And then they even pull out the Rek'Sai, not even really spending that many fearless draft bucks here early on in the series as Cuz trying to wait around. Nice dodge to the right from Zeus, but actually gets interrupted, goes into the ult, and now tries to flash away. And is not able to tunnel just yet, and is being bullied. Finally is going to get over the wall, and is making this quite difficult as he is very fast. Here comes the wall, and eventually Zeus will go down. They get the kill over to BDD, but Zeka gets some free time with the mid turret.
A little horror movie there. As nicely done there by Perfect. He simultaneously got the smash off, while also one of the reasons why Rek'Sai started the game is because of our tunnels. He also was standing on top of the tunnel. So he denied access to that, meaning that Zeus wasn't actually able to get out. There will be a dragon given over for this, so double dragon does come through here for Hanwha Life, which is nice, but still KT fighting back and keeping the gold within touching distance.
Yeah. That is Rakan, so he's totally fine. We got a Cloud Soul on the way.
Ooh.
And certainly going to be pretty nice. All that movement speed as Cuz is going on in, and Peanut is going to be cut down. Finally gets punished for some aggressive play here.
Love to see it. KT fighting back valiantly, getting the kill over to Duckdom as well, which is a big deal. When that Cole cashes out, is also going to be feeling a lot better here. And particularly with this comp, if you look at where the gold is, kill going over to BDD, now another kill going over to Duckdom is definitely a big deal. Peanut, way too far up, right? I know his bot lane is in the general vicinity, but his mid lane isn't. Mid lane is catching a wave, so he can't be that far up. Very nicely done by Peter there. Gets the Charm Flash into the immediate W, and that sets up nicely for BDD. The single target lockdown and damage that's available for KT is exceptional. And those type of messy skirmishes, I think what they gonna be continuously creating. Trying to get someone into the back line so that Duckdom can dive in, that Cuz can create space. That gold lead, basically down to nothing. Hanwha Life, I think, still in a good position to get defeats the objectives that they've gotten. But this does mean that the item spikes don't really get out of control.
Yeah, they don't get out of control, and it feels like KT is in a pretty good spot to scale up here. The Kai'Sa very much got out of the lane totally fine with some of their shenanigans early on. Actually ahead 100 gold as well. So feeling very good as Duckdom able to pick up 2 kills for himself in the last couple of minutes. And so that means this Kai'Sa is actually going to be a problem eventually for HLE, and they weren't able to shut it down early. So going to be pretty interesting to see how this one all does pan out. Viper being very annoying, but Peter is here to heal up Duckdom.
Also, this Rek'Sai has not really been able, due to the continuous lane swaps and the attention from Cuz, to get that much of a lane advantage as...
Okay. He's able to surf his way to safety.
Not even close. The only CC that can knock him off there is the flag and drag, which Peanut used. They still get the Taliyah ultimate, which I think is nice for giving yourself a little bit more safety in river plays. But BDD also not going to be too sad about not having to use anything else. Nice and back and forth early here, Feldes. So we won in the game one.
Yeah, it's definitely setting the stage for this best of 5. Was a little bit worried when I saw the early game and HLE just dominating them. I was like, okay, well, maybe this is going to be just the Chronicler prediction of 3-0, but that's really not been the way these playoffs have gone. We've seen a lot of teams get Game 1 victories, and even very dominant Game 1 victories, and then just lose. Or have it be very back and forth.
I do remember that. I do remember that, Feldes.
Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me.
Didn't want to name anyone specifically, but because I am casting with Chronicler.
What team would do that? Win Game 1 convincingly and then get swept.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Well, there is one team who did that recently.
Yeah,
most recently, actually. Yeah. On Thursday.
Yes, they did. Don't need to
against T1. So now KT trying to aggressively posture here, as they've already lost the feats, as you did mention, but still, if they could get a Rift Herald, would be a good way to continue getting back in the game.
And the line for KT to walk is also fairly thin, because they only have BDD and Dogdom to do real damage. Obviously, Cuz right now is still going to be doing a lot, but he will kind of peter out as the game continues. So Dogdom and BDD need to be very deliberate about where they are. If they get focused down, they could be in big trouble, and Hanwha Life is looking for the angle.
Yeah, Taliyah combo is down, and there's Delight, gets right in onto BDD. The follow-up from Peanut is beautiful. And now Cuz in a lot of trouble. Nowhere for him to go. Even Zeus joins in here with his own TP. And unfortunately for Perfect, he also TP'd and did nothing, as he was a little bit too late to the fight. Not his fault, but HLE take a massive fight here around the Rift Herald.
That's exactly what we mentioned. This Taliyah, if you can get the rocks, maybe it can keep you a little bit safe against the Jarvan, but if you don't have flash and he ults on you, you will die. There's just no way to survive that, but all credit goes to Delight, the one that set that up. When you look at the engagement here, you can see they catched him in the choke point. That's the big deal. Peter tries to block it with the ultimate, but Delight still gets the combo. The follow-up from Peanut is impeccable, and as soon as even one of the carries goes down, the fight is just a bust. They just need to get out, but they're not really able to do so. And now the gold lead firmly back in Hanwha's favor.
Yeah, that's one way to climb that giant cliff of a gold difference over time graph.
Oh, and that's now a soul point fight here possible for Hanwha. Saka has TP, BD doesn't. BD does have his ultimate, but still need to be careful here with any fight that you take as KT. This is, you're one bad fight away from, I think, fully losing control of the game. This lead, you can still maneuver around, but I don't know. I don't think you want to give up soul point, especially against Hanwha, but you might not have a choice.
Yeah, you got 2 items here on the Kaisa, and so maybe that's going to be your way of actually fighting, hoping that Dogdom can do enough damage with a good engage. You know, Delight down his flash now, but everybody else has their flash on the side of HLE, and so certainly a way for the rest of them to get in with some nice engages, especially Zeus and Peanut, looking at them. As, yeah, HLE just going to bully them out.
Yeah.
And they say, well, you can't really do anything about this. Perfect is nearby, certainly peeking his way in, but KT not committing to the fight just yet, as we have the Battle Rift Herald drop down just in case. Zeus is going to pick this one up. They boop Cuz away, and here comes the knockup onto the enemy jungler. It does miss, but still going to be the Drake going their way, as Ingo's Dogdom on a Peanut, but now he's in the pit and in a very vulnerable spot, as immediately they just turn onto him. Dogdom is down, and that is all your damage gone, as Perfect is alone, has to flash away. Zeus tanky enough, and BDD was never able to do anything in that fight, and this one is very quickly slipping away into the hands of HLE.
Couple of things came together there. Viper was already out of the pit when the engage came in. Really big deal there is because they spotted Peter early. They had full awareness, like Hanwha really doing their homework. So they spotted Peter on the flank. The perfect was marked very early on, because the KT comp thrives when you can create chaos, when you can segment members off, then use the mobility of your Kai'Sa, of your Rakan, and they attempt to do that here, but because they know where Peter is, you will see or Viper is out of the pit as the rest of the team arrives, meaning that instead Dogdom goes in onto Peanut. Peanut, even if he would have gone down, wouldn't have minded, but that means Dogdom is just stuck in the pit, ends up going down, and to me, again, I really don't like the Kai'Sa in this composition. I feel like with the Taliyah, you would much rather have something that tries to play further front to back. Because Kai'Sa, that wasn't a great ult from Dogdom, but if he doesn't ult in, I don't know if they have enough prep. Maybe you just need to ult and hit the front line or just try and play it a little bit slower. But in that case, Hanwha Life probably just dip, and you don't really get anything out of it. But the result doesn't end up going very well here for Hanwha Life.
Yeah. If Duckdown doesn't ult in, he's a 2-item Kai'Sa who's sitting in the back, short range, and getting zoned away by all of those threats on HLE. And now we're looking at 3,500 gold, the lead here. 3 breaks as there is the engage directly on the Zeka. Nowhere for him to go up against 3 as they had the damage with Duckdown and BDD there. And KT looking at this Otacon now.
And KT's done it a bunch of times with Peter on Nico, now with him on Rakan. He sets up the play to take down Zeka. And this might just be the other... Yeah, look, they're not contesting. Despite investing the teleport, I think just want to hold on to the turret. And KT strike again in the moment of weakness.
Yeah, it was already 22-6 petals, and now it's 33-6 in the upgraded petals. So KT all of a sudden, I mean, yes, they're down on gold. Yes, they still have this Kai'Sa we're not super happy with, but they're coming back in this game.
As Zeus goes in aggressively there, maybe a bit disjointed. I think they were looking for an engage. I also think that they thought that Peter had already backed, but he was standing a little bit further forward. And really, yeah, the back and forth keeps swinging or up and down if you're a roller coaster fan. I think that's a more apt metaphor. There is still the issue of Soul Point though, and that's something that KT is going to have to deal with. I think we have talked at length about why specifically Cloud Soul is so busted. As we take another look here, he's just waiting. Zeka knows something is wrong, but isn't quite ready. Peanut's there like, I cannot help you here, my man, unfortunately.
He did watch, though.
He did. And it's Peter getting the catch. And the follow-up, as soon as someone does get CC'd, they should die in this comp, right? With the burst from the Kai'Sa and with the Taliyah, it's very important that KT keep at least this semblance of control. Because I do think this composition, once you actually fall behind, just doesn't work anymore, because you don't really have the team fight power. Unless I say that, but maybe BDD finds like a free-man scoop and then they just win.
Yeah, he might just do that.
That has happened. Like, we've seen him do that.
It's a very BDD thing to do. Not a lot of other people do that consistently.
They don't.
And BDD's Taliyah has been feared for many a reason, including that. Just push away here from Perfect, gonna net him the Gromp. Nobody losing to the Gromp tonight, just yet. And in a minute or so, we're going to have this Cloud Soul fight. KT trying to deny the Soul, HLE trying to pick it up. And if they maintain a gold lead, they get Cloud Soul. If they win a fight here on the streak, it's still looking good for HLE. But you said it before, it's still a close enough game for KT to kind of maneuver in, especially after that pick into Otacon, going to make things even easier.
And what's interesting to me is that when it comes to scaling, I think in terms of ease of execution, the KT comp really comes out ahead. I also am worried about the Rek'Sai, even with this Bruiser build. I do think eventually you're going to reach a point where you'll be big side lane threat, but in teamfights it'll be hard to have an impact, as is often the case. But the Aurora, the Corki, I think these remain really big threats as the game continues, as attempted engage.
Oh, they're going to find Duckdom in a huge way. He just goes down. He was like 10 seconds away from Flash. And that's just free. Down goes the Kai'Sa. The Xinjiao follows Cuz, trying to go in and save him late. Doesn't do anything, just dies. And that is a free Cloud Soul over to Hanwha Life Esports.
Don't even get a Constellation Rek'Sai. Does KT. As Dogdom dying there. We had some defense for the previous ult into the pit. I got nothing here, Veldes. Especially with your flash not up. The light is in full vision. You know, like, we should be aware. Because I know that Zeka comes in from stealth, but it doesn't really matter. You're just gonna die there when the Alistar is walking up as it was actually 13 seconds away, which means that Felvis basically nailed it on the timing there, as did Hanwha. And that is Soul. That's just Cloud Soul now here available for them, which is going to make any subsequent play for KT so much harder. The rotations for Hanwha Life are going to be a menace. And the movement speed is just broken. We all know this.
Yeah. Look at how fast Peanut is with the home guard, just sprinting out of the base alongside of Delight. And now, I mean, the game is very handily in their grasp. It's not over just yet. KT still have Vodacon, yes. And they're not that far behind, but it's a big issue when we haven't really seen many of these fights look that good for KT. It's been a lot of picks in this game for KT and for HLE before we really get any 5v5s. There was that one dragon fight, as we're going to get an engage here on the Cuz, force him to flash just like that.
And any champion that doesn't have a dash is just fodder for Jarvanel. Obviously, Cuz can dash if there's a target. Was no target, so just has to use a summoner there. And that's going to buy a lot of space here for Hanwha to just take this turret.
Yeah. I think Duckdom learned from the last time. Peter also has to flash, so all that pick potential we saw from the Rakan is just gone.
The flash for Zinzao being gone is rough, but it's not the end of the world. Peter not having flash though, like I swear, there's been 2 or 3 like flash Peter plays already that have kept KT in the game.
Yeah.
Not gonna have that available now means that the effective range is a lot less. Viper doesn't have his flash yet, but he is Corki. That is something that we do need to keep in mind, though, is that if at any point, like Viper or Zaka just goes a little bit too far forward, gets charmed, gets knocked back, Duckdom dives in, I think single target kill setups will still be great for KT, but we're still at the point in the game where Jarvan is a big threat. Zeus just finished his second item spike, so just getting one target is just not going to be enough.
You have a lot of work to do here if you are KT. Meanwhile, Viper just sitting back, you know, hasn't necessarily been the main character, but at the same time is 5-0 and 6. Just not dying, been a part of all 11 kills.
Yeah, he was also, I'm pretty sure, last time we checked, leading in the damage chart category.
Yes.
Also, love this. Build, he's playing into a tank. Build Lord Doms. Good for you, Viper.
He already has enough damage for BDD and Duckdom.
No, I know that, but
So-
I have seen people still go Collector.
Yeah.
So this fills me with joy.
But that's the item build, Chronicler. I have to do the item build. I have to follow the rules. Can't use my head. That's the way it goes. Even in pro play. Just ask BDD.
oh God, yeah. Is BDD the biggest gap between player skill and item? It has to be, right?
It is, yeah.
No one comes close.
It is. I think he's gotten better.
Oh, yes,
to be honest.
for sure.
As little engage coming in once again. That's not going to do all too much, but Zeus has an angle on the right side. Perfect. Takes a big chunk of damage.
It's not too bad here. Just getting the ghost, or giving up the ghost rather, for KT. I don't think they're going to be too bothered by that. What if we just flip? That's the way back for KT. And you know, unfortunately, these are 2 legend teams. We no longer can talk about Rise Group and how fun it would be.
It's not Rise Group, baby.
It's not Rise Group, baby.
Very sad.
Very sad. Sad times.
Yeah.
Peanut.
Who's ganking who? Peanut is so incredibly fast. He's like sprinting around the map. He is so ready to go if any fight breaks out.
He looks like he's like, you know, Poppy with Deadman's Blade?
Yeah.
But he's Jarvan.
He's Jarvan on a Cloud Rift and has Cloud Soul, 2 Cloud Drakes. It's kind of funny because when he ults, he's stuck
inside
the
dome.
circle.
But he can run really fast inside the circle.
Yeah, he can flag and drag out and then maybe get some value out of it.
No. I kind of want to see just how fast he can Beyblade around.
Yeah. We already saw Kiana ult the middle.
If we had Ambessa versus Rek'Sai, we could have an actual Beyblade matchup where it's like, so you have the Jarvan Dome, and then they just spin around.
Trying to find Viper.
That's the flash gone.
That it is. Definitely a good look from Peter.
Maybe he was listening to the Beyblade conversation and he got carried away.
He got distracted.
Sorry about that flash, Viper. Wouldn't that be cool?
He's like, it's okay, I'm Corky.
Can you imagine the 2 of them just spinning around?
That would be a lot of fun.
That would be.
Could make some good content out of that.
Low cancel there. And that's, as long as the Baron isn't taken, I think that KT is still in a decent spot. This is the real test, though. They don't have vision. It's going to be hard to get backline access. And they know this Baron is being taken.
The damage from this Aurora, who's on 3 items, is just way too much for them to handle.
They're just going to give it.
Yeah.
There's just no way in.
Because it's too low, we don't have the quickness or... Oh, Peter just got his flashback, but... Yeah, it's just, you're not going to win that fight ever, so why even take it? Just give it away.
So, if they based a little bit earlier, I think they still should be able to. But because the Baron recalls, they're not actually going to have tempo, because this could have been a way for them to get tempo on Elder and just flip it there, like start it and just Hail Mary it.
Yeah.
If they, as soon as they realize they can't do it, I think those extra couple of seconds would have made a big difference, right? Because now they're basically getting towards the pit and the river with relative pace, because not only do they have Baron buff, they have Godsol! Look at him run!
Sick haze! Oh, and he got into the Cloud Rift circle, he's even faster.
That's Cloud Rift value.
That's Cloud Rift baby. It's because Isolated has to go into his Crescent Guard already. They're trying to turn onto an Alistar who's got his ult. They isolate Viper, who does not have his flash, and doesn't seem to have Valkyrie, but he's still doing so much damage, they don't have the follow-up. And Duckdom is just in no man's land, can't do anything by himself. Viper gonna Valkyrie in, calculated, as they do get the kill on a BDD here. And at least Duckdom was able to get out alive, but it should be Elder, you would imagine, for HLE.
Might just look for
or
the
maybe
end.
they just end.
Yeah, if they can keep the cancel on perfect, if he doesn't back, I think they can just base, or just end, go to the base as they do. And that might just be it for game 1.
Game 1 just like this. Mostly domination the whole way, by the way, of Hanwha Esports, except a couple of big picks from Peter, who kind of looked like he was the only guy doing anything, to be honest, here for the side of KT. As, yeah, you got to send it. You got to try, but maybe trying to make some room here for Duckdom.
It's almost, oh god.
Yeah, that Aurora has 8 kills, and the Nexus does not have any health. 0. 1-0 going the way of HLE here. After game number 1, a dominant victory for them to start off the best of 5.
And it was the early game plan that got Peanut in a good position, but the main character here was the support. Delight having so many impeccable engages on this Alistar felt like more of a, we do the preemptive counter pick so that if they pick Nico, we don't feel as bad. Instead, ends up, I think, carrying most of this game with his decision-making in these fights. Nicely synced up as well with Peanut. And then it's funny because there was like 8-0 and 7-0 Aurora and Corki. Felt like kind of an afterthought. They just got those kills, but they were able to get there because of that jungle support.
Still, I mean, we saw what Owner was able to do on Pantheon, and 13-0. Pretty good. I think he ended the game 14-1 as he died on the Nexus fight. But you gave over Pantheon and Orianna to a mid-jungle who seemed to be performing at a very high level. So, yes, you got a lot of strong things, but at the same time, Hanwha Esports picked up some big pieces for themselves. Very curious about how the Sivir is going to work out in this composition. Can Viper stay safe against all of the threats of KT? Another question for me.
I'm a bit worried for KT, which in turn might be good. We don't know. There's too many layers to that. I think they have a lot of power, but as you're highlighting, that Pantheon is for me the X factor, and that could completely take over the game.
Yeah, absolutely could. And you got Delight back onto an engaged champ. Looks so good in game 1. Can he do it again on the Rel? Let's find out.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
Here we go, game number 2. And this could be a defining moment in the series. Will KT fight back, or is HLE just going to claim their dominance in the series?
I don't know. I think we'll know pretty quickly, though. Because to me, Hanwha is one of those teams where when they are firing on all cylinders, they look amazing. A little invade here.
Yep. Standing on a ward, Delight actually in a decent amount of trouble here. Delight just get healed himself. Gonna crash down away.
I don't know why I called it an invade when it's just the mid-brush. I guess BDD isn't where he's supposed to. So.
Yeah, it's like a forward ward.
Yeah, well, nicely done. Still, get the heal out of Delight. I think he'll be pretty decent on time here, but they're definitely going to lose prio over the wave level 1. More important is that Viper should be able to still get experience here, which is obviously the biggest deal. And yeah, I think Delight might not even miss any experience. Obviously not going to be able to fight for early wave control. And they do have Trundle pathing towards them, which is a little bit of a worry, but I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. As yeah, looks like Delight not going to miss out on anything here.
Yeah, gets back on time. And he's like, how did you guys see me? There's this ward here that he is going to spot.
That's actually remarkable, just because of the Sivir wave clear. I thought that Viper not being able to walk up initially would have been enough, but just because of the power of the Ricochet, they're still going to have prio, so unless you force an all-in, the lack of that heal is not going to matter. And oh boy, they just forced Peter's heal, which was a good choice. Like, the movement speed saved them from getting engaged on there, but that's not ideal.
Duckdom has played quite a lot of games of Jhin. Jhin was extremely high tier for the majority of the LCK this year, I feel. So it makes sense that he has so many games on it. 15 in total. This will be number 16. And yeah, just going to be playing from behind, getting pushed in by the Sivir. Kind of annoying. Let's see what happens when Cuz does make his way down, but they're going to go in and ward together, Viper and Delight, so should be safe from a gank. Unless Cuz wants to do something crazy like flashing the Dragon Wall.
I wonder if you can obviously try to like soft time, depending on how long they're out of the lane, but it is a really big gamble unless you wrap all the way around. I also don't know if they know where Peanut is, because if you've tracked Peanut, you can actually do like the long wrap around, try to look for a timing there. As Trundle obviously very healthy with his first clear because of his passive. And it does look like Cuz instead going to try and play for top. Can't really play for bot crab because his bot lane doesn't have prio. And Peanut is crossing over. But their stops are prio, so I think Cuz just heads to the other end of the map and will be fine. Zeka needs to be very, very careful. I do think that the Orianna, once you get some items, does very, very fine into Annie. I am not the biggest fan of picking the Annie into the Orianna, because I feel like once she gets like Archangels and Merc, she just kind of struggle a lot. But early on, there is a lot of gank setup, as they are playing very aggressive here, and that's Pantheon.
Yeah. Also, Cuz was just spotted going to the top side of the map. Did go for a back.
What a read. Do they have the timing, though? On the crash here, Peanut standing guard, but they need everyone to dive Duckdom.
I think they absolutely do. They're going to just try to engage on a Peanut and taxi Duckdom out of here, and the red buff is not quite enough, actually. And here comes Cuz as trying to punish Peanut for being in here a little bit too deep, and down he will go. First blood to the Jhin, and Delight has to crash down over the wall just to get away, in the dive a little bit too telegraphed, and they do make quick work of it.
Just a little bit, as oh, he does get the cannon. Nice try at the denial there, BDD. That's the kill, also going over to Jhin. And yeah, I thought that, I don't know what the timing on the wave was there. I thought that they were going to have more wave clear, but maybe it was just a cooldown of Ricochet. Because 2 seconds earlier, and I think Duckdom just dies, but they had to crash the wave first. Weren't able to do so. As we take another look here, Peanut is so far up, and you can't engage onto the Leona. Duckdom has both some, so like Peanut going in there doesn't really do anything. Nicely done there on the cleanse as well. And then, yeah, the fact that Peanut gets engaged on there, maybe if he flashes up, but I think this was always going to be tough for him to survive. They should be feeling lucky that the Light didn't also end up dying, thanks to the prio that Zeka hadn't made, because if BDD has wave priority there and he's able to roam, that's just a freebie on the Light as well.
Yeah. BDD was TPing back into the lane, but was getting pushed out by Zeka. Kind of a difficult lane to play Annie into Orianna at all times, as you were talking about before. And even early on, from the first wave, Zeka was pushing past the minion wave, getting the command attack going. Yeah, chip damage.
Unless you're able to really like chain gank the lane, I really think Annie just struggles really dealing with the Orianna well when the Orianna has a good early lane phase. This setup is good though.
Yeah, they got a gank going. Do they have enough damage on a Zeka to force a flash away as the flash is enough? BDD BDD is going to get in and just make quick work with some help from Peter.
You gotta go Mercs. I think if you have Mercs, you don't die there. Like, the amount of CC that comes through is what sets up that play perfectly. One auto less and you would have been able to stay alive, but gets the heroic components instead. Really big as BDD, as I'm talking about why the laning phase is rough. We did also mention the setup for Annie. The point and click stun. Damage is there. Zeka ends up going down and the gold lead continues here for KT. Oh, delight.
Well, we got Peanut coming on down. They are going to get ducked on first. Peanut in a little bit of trouble here. The subjugate on the Trundle is enough to tank this one up, and now we got a front line for Viper, who's just kiting it out. Dodges that one with the spell shield, does not get stunned. And Peter, not much he can do as Leona into Sivir.
That's a good trade there for Hanwha Life. That Q from Delight was beautiful. Actually able to hit both, not allowing Peter to try and save Cuz. And yeah, that looked really rough. Cuz's or Peanut's arrival made us think that maybe they were able to fully turn the play around. Still a goal positive trade. And it also forces a response here from KT in that they teleport the Rumble towards the bot lane. But now with Delight teleporting to top, Dokdom can't walk up to the wave. Will be a cannon wave though, so I think that with help arriving, he should still be fine.
Yeah, looks like he is. Cuz and Peter were making their way up just to help out in this one. Cuz goes back to farming. And we're gonna take another look at Zeka, just not respecting the potential of this play.
Let's get CC for too long. Takes the Tibbers damage, takes the Eclipse damage. And then maybe if he flashes a second earlier, but I think that one always looks rough as we take another look here at the really nice, again, Delight with the Q flash onto Dokdom, who they know doesn't have cleanse, able to time it with the arrival of Peanut. Even though Cuz is able to take down Peanut, once your W runs out, you really just don't have the damage available to chew through Viper. So he ends up just getting taken down. Viper gets to stack up that lethal tempo, just auto him down, and that's an early kill going over to Sivir. Now the objective control still looking good here for KT as they do get the triple grubs.
Trying to help out in mid is Delight. BDD looking to turn this one. He's got Cuz nearby. The shockwave is going to hit the Annie, and Peanut being here means that BDD might just be in a lot of trouble. Down he goes. Zeka going to pick up that kill. A nice influx of gold to catch up in the mid lane.
A cute there from Peanut, gets stopped by the pillar, but uses the movement speed on Empowered E to make his way over, not having to use his flash, and ensuring that Zeka can get the kill, because if it's just Zeka, Zeka will have to be a little bit more respectful. And now the gold lead turning into Hanwha's favor, despite some really good punishes from KT early on. Dragon, though, hasn't been taken yet. That's going to be a big fighting point here between the two teams. As Peanut's like, no.
No, thank you. I do not want to buy what you're selling. Just runs away into the back of his house. And yeah, Frontal Drake just kind of sitting there waiting, watching to see if anyone's going to take him down. As Delight, yet another play. And Cuz is like, I don't know, especially with Peanut here.
There's nothing you can do. You remember down. They don't have the burst to actually take down Zeka. So I understand here from Cuz. Maybe in hindsight, if BDD paths up instead of down, because Jhin does have his ultimate.
Here we go again. Might be in a bit of trouble, BDD. Once again, low on his cooldown as Peanut kind of getting blocked by the minions. Has to flash away as the shockwave was not available. And maybe that's what they were banking on.
Yeah, it was used in the previous play. Don't really get anything out of BDD either. Just a flash and a Pantheon ult down. So big win there for KT. Definitely good to see as Zeka has now finished his mercs. Very good. Love to see it. Will make a big difference in this one, particularly against the Leona, Jhin for the root, of course, and then the Annie. Dokdom, because of the gold, the early gold lead that he was able to find, was able to pick up an early Ghost Blade, but then Viper also got a kill. So kind of offset, as we can see, barely a lead here. Viper should be getting his Essence Reaver sooner rather than later, and still no dragon fight. And I do like KT's position as long as they can keep this gold lead even. I do think this composition, once it falls behind, doesn't really have that much going for it.
very smartly played here on the top lane. He knows he's about to get his flashback. He knows this is the most dangerous time. Right after that, he face checks the brush against a Trundle, as now he's got his flash though. As the timing comes in, he's able to get away and trades flashes with Peter, while Peanut is taking the Infernal Drake.
Still a trade up, I think, for KT. They get the flash out of Zeka, which is big because it means that BDD has a lot more plays available against him. I was about to say, just Drake for like a full turret would not have been worth, but Zeka is able to TP back into it. I actually thought that he might have looked for more there if they had given him the opportunity, but the pillar comes out. It's going to be first Drake going over. Delight is on the ward here. So looks like they should be aware of that as well. But, I mean, Cuz did back, so like, he still can't really approach the wave.
Yeah, BDD not respecting it,
yeah.
And there is his flash. Just to like ghosting in.
I think once you spot him there, even though Cuz has a really big buy, you need to fix that wave. Because they sold Rel. Like, at BDD, that's not the end of it. Like, now we see Peter go up to try and fix it so that he can actually approach. And obviously, Delight doesn't want to be locked in this lane specifically, but definitely felt like that flash was a big advantage that they have on any in particular. The flash is so insanely strong. Not having that, definitely a big deal.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty huge, especially in this next fight for the Rift Heralds. Should be the next big objective fight. Zeka was playing it so safely up in the top side, even though he has that Catalyst, has the Merc Treads, he still knows that he is in the most vulnerable spot, because Viper's in mid as Sivir with Cleanse Flash, and he's Sivir. Clears the wave in about 0.5 seconds. And so he's not really in any trouble. The Gwen is not in much trouble, so the weak spot is obviously to try to gank the Orianna.
It's interesting. I feel like there might actually be decent angles to gank Zeus. I think they're more worried about the cross map if they do that, because the dive is so strong for both teams, right? Because you do have Zeus with only exhaust, so if he's far up in the lane and his E is down, I think you can punish him. But it really is just top laners by themselves, on their own.
Yeah.
Just 1v1.
I kind of forgot they existed.
Yes.
Actually, for a moment, I was like, have we even looked at that lane?
No, this is the peak top lane experience. They are legitimately both 0-0-0, just farming. That's it.
33 gold lead.
Yes.
For the Gwen. And that's probably in like the one plate he got earlier on.
Also, it's so neither of them can cancel a TP. So like, it's just not a lot of interaction.
Yeah.
Oh, Dokdom, no.
in. Dokdom has been getting chunked up big time.
Yeah, he did kind of opt into the trade into Sivir. That wasn't great when Spell Shield was up. As now, we have these traps have been very successful here for Hanwha Life, but have they gotten a little bit too predictable? Peanuts in the area, and the light is waiting there.
The light is here, and immediately they see this as the counter gank coming on in. He's going to catch two. The shockwave is big on the two as well. BDD with no flash and no hope of getting out. Peanut is taking a huge chunk of damage, though. He is going to survive with the Sundered Sky, of all things, plus the shield. As now Peter just left for the fishes. As down he goes, Zeus will pick up the kill, and HLE start off strong again in game two.
The KT getting a little bit too predictable, trying to go for the same play. But this time, Zeka was already pretty beefy, so he can walk up at least a little bit. There is also a Pantheon in the game, and the light read them like a book. Ready and waiting. And that's now the first real gold lead that we've seen in this game. Roa done for Zeka. And this is one of the games where Roa makes sense, right? You want to absorb the burst, you have a Gwen as well, so the lower damage on the Orianna isn't really going to matter. And it's actually the CC that he provides with the ultimate that ends up being big. Peanut doesn't really take any damage. The, as per usual, engage from the light is great. And the moment that BDD goes down, I think they recognize there's not really anything to be done here. If they have Jhin in this setup, they might actually try to play off of the TP for perfect, right? Because Peter does take a while to go down. Maybe with the Jhin ultimate, you can get something going, but he wasn't. So, KT falling further and further behind, and they need to utilize the upfront burst, because I think in theory that's a good plan, right? Like just trying to get these picks, utilize the amount of single target damage that you have. But Hanwha Life, one step ahead. And it's looking, I would really like, I know I'm a little bit greedy, but I would love 5 games for my final low bar cost. That would be wonderful.
Yeah, it would be nice, wouldn't it?
But we're rapidly trending towards a Hanwha Live 3-0.
Yeah. You can't always get what you want, Chronicler.
I was kind of expecting, you know, I say that, and you're like, oh, I see what you're doing. You're trying to curse it, even though you...
I mean,
you're not feeling
we know what you're trying to do, right? We don't need to say it every single time, right? Redemption helping out, and perfect. A lot of the needles not really going to stick.
I don't know what you're talking about. Isn't it the most LCK thing to just always say the same thing? And
yeah, it is. I figured I'd spare you here in your last cast at Lol Park.
No, give me the real experience, Zeka.
Yeah, he doesn't have a very fun time, and the Pantheon's on the top side of the map, so he is just dead, as that will be a shutdown given over to Cuz.
Easy as 1, 2, 3. Zeka's KDA, not happy about that one. Is KT get a really good punish here, I think, yeah, especially with the power of a very strong Trundle. We'll just be able to chew free on the Frozen in the main. Triforce done. That's KT. Bringing the gold lead back. Going to get a Dragon for the troubles as well. Things looking good. And again, great timing, KT. Thank you very much. That's wonderful.
Yeah. We should give the credit to KT, though, because actually it was your curse that helped them out. As it's Chemtexel that comes through. It feels like there are some members that actually can utilize it pretty well. The Trundle, the Gwen.
Oh, that gold glove looks suspiciously roller coastery.
It is up and then it is down.
Could be good tidings. Could be bad. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't have the technology to know.
Oh my god, they're just continuously setting up these freezes. First in top, now this one here.
Might as well. I mean, nothing's really happening in this game. They don't want to be vulnerable in the side lane, so might as well farm safely and deny some farm
Zeka, just play safe. Just play. Just drop the turret.
Obviously not playing safe enough here.
Not safe enough, clearly. Yeah, that's one of those scenarios where you probably should have started walking like 10 minutes earlier. Maybe then you would have been fine.
Yeah,
I said minutes. I did not say seconds. I said minutes, and I mean it.
If you stay in the base, you actually don't have to worry about a threat from your opponents.
Very true.
Not for a very long time. Although if you stay in the base, they'll probably win the game pretty quickly. So eventually, they're going to find you in the base.
Yeah, but that's going to take a while, and you won't die.
You won't die.
So
your KDA will thank you for it. Staying at 0 KDA. I suppose that's not very good, though. Zeka going for the eye drops mid-game. Love to see it.
That's a sign of things to come, generally. As he has been focused pretty heavily. Nicely done there by Cousin BDD. That, as always, are kind of the axes that KT revolves around. The big instigators on this team, as the next objective will be the Otacon, which I don't think either team should, in good conscience, start when the opponents are alive. That's a you know, a post-fight kind of thing.
Yeah.
As Peter freeing up his summoner spell. Yeah, I think we looked earlier and Zeus was like not ahead.
He was 33 gold ahead. Now he's 685 gold ahead.
Yeah, and the wave's going to be caught, so it's going to offset a little, but he's on 2 items as well. This Gwen is, from here on out, going to just be a bigger and bigger issue. And the one thing I do worry about with the KT comp is that eventually we're going to reach a point where the upfront burst isn't enough. And when it comes to consistent damage, they're just not going to match Hanwha. I do think that they're on a timer in this one. And we'll see if they can hit the timings. Otacon, I think, is going to be very important for their setup.
So, we saw the pillar used on the Raptors. I don't really know why. I did miss that part as to why the pillar was used, but it was nicely pointed out by Jonah Strong that he just didn't have pillar for the Rift Herald then. So it got a free charge, killed the mid outer, and HLA pick up their second turret just like that for free. Huge value from the Rift Herald. So not really sure what happened around the Raptors.
Like, here I get it.
Sure.
That one makes sense. Now you got blue buff.
Yeah.
That's a win.
There's also no more Rift Herald, so that's part of it.
Yeah, but you know, but you might want to pillar for other stuff.
True.
Maybe you want to trap a member of Hanwha.
Maybe.
Now you can't. I mean, it's Trundle. He has a lot of ability. He will be fine.
What do we think about Mortal Reminder second Jhin? How are we feeling about that build?
I like it.
Yeah?
I don't mind it. Yeah. I think that it's one of those builds that looks kind of weird, but like there is actually a ton of healing on the enemy team. I think with Redemption being as strong as it is, having the ability to reduce healing is just so much more valuable. Now, you could look at Rumble and say just build Oblivion Orb.
Yeah.
I think that's valid.
Even Annie.
Yeah, both of those would be great. But if you're going for, in this setup, if you're going for a second Knight and Armor Pen, I think Mortal Reminder is the better of the two generally.
Yeah.
So, also, Scamtech Drake.
It is.
So,
there is a ton of healing in this game. Which you did mention. Sundered Sky alone, I feel like, is a good reason to pick up some anti-healing. Not to mention the rest. You got a fed Gwen on the enemy team. There are going to be issues. I just don't know how much Duckdom is going to actually be shooting those guys.
Hasn't been doing a lot of shooting thus far in this game. And I think that's not really his fault. I feel like his team just needs to include him in the party. You know, it's not a party without duckers there.
Ducky duckers.
Yeah. Need the whole team. Gold late, not really anything major to speak of, as we will definitely have a fight towards this dragon. Perfect STP. Zeus looking to just run his way with scissors over here. As I again want to reiterate, I don't think with the amount of AoE damage that's available in AoE CC, neither team should be starting Otacon. All right, we can take this turret and then we go to Drake. I do not want to see any Beyblading, unlike last game.
Yeah, I think you just take bot turret, rotate up. Maybe you go for the Drake here. Could look for that.
There we
Try to
go.
look for their fight setup as KT are pushing onto this mid-outer. As here's Pantheon. Gonna deny that take of the outer tier 1 turret.
That's a pretty underwhelming entrance. That's also Pantheon just gone.
They can still fight without Pantheon ults.
No,
though.
it's fine, but like it is a big cooldown that you use. There's oh god!
Okay, that's the combo with the pillar. That's also a good pillar usage, and Zeus is like, well, yeah, I think I'm just gonna run away.
They didn't want to fight anyway.
Yeah.
Nicely done. Big win for KT there. Get themselves a second dragon. Will be, I think, certainly getting this mid lane as well. As Hanwha alive with a counterpunch, but Equalizer is down. The other ultimates are still up. They're definitely going to start this, though. They want to look for the fight. I don't think that they actually want to do Otacon.
Yeah.
But they definitely want to turn. There's a lot of vision available as well. Does get spotted out.
Yeah, just going to start it up. They have a decent amount of damage. Not a huge amount, but enough to threaten here as Peter coming on in. The pillar is utilized. Redemption available. TP in from Zeus as this is getting incredibly low. Cuz should have access. The engage goes in on a BDD. It is secured by Peanut as now everybody's in the meat grinder in the middle. The Gwen Needle's getting so much value down as Cuz, as tanky as he is with the Subjugate, still going to be taken out. Perfect. Barely getting away. And BDD sticking around to find out what Pantheon can do when the fight gets really rough. It's a Quadra as Peanut wants the Penta.
Where is his ult?
Oh,
Peanut,
no!
no!
He had his ult! Oh! It's only a Quadra.
I mean, Duckdom has flash. Like, he would have probably gotten out. But imagine how cool it would have been!
It's his last day in
I
Love
know!
Park.
No, it's nicely on the Hanwha life. Identify that the biggest teamfight ultimate is gone. And what the light does here is ensure that BDD can't actually do that much damage beyond the initial bear. So without that, Duckdom with his ultimate doesn't quite find the targets either. And then, yeah, BDD is always dead. I think Duckdom Perfect should have just dipped, but trying to save their teammate doesn't end up working out. And then here, unfortunately for Peanut, I think when the trap comes down, he's like, yeah, guys, it's not happening. It's not happening.
Still another Pantheon that's getting out of control.
Yeah.
It's not 13-0 levels, but it's Quadra kill at the Otacon fight that they got levels. And he also smited it. So wins the smite fight against Cuz, who's been a god smiter for the past bunch of years. And also gets a quadra kill. So pretty huge stuff for Peanut.
I want you. There's one item that is kind of out of. If you already spotted it, it makes you go, huh? This fella, this is like he's triple checking.
I'm looking.
Is it based or not so good?
I don't really see the item.
Okay, look at the supports.
Oh, the Oblivion Orb.
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel like I guess
I think he's done this before.
it kind of makes sense.
Yeah. It's kind of weird that none of the AP champions are getting Oblivion Orb, and it's just Leona.
I definitely think it's better on Perfect as a Delight, maybe in some trouble.
Yeah, he's got Redemption, though, and he has Peanut in front. It's because throws up the Subjugation, and the Equalizer is used. Baron's here.
That's free ultimates. I wouldn't be surprised if Humble Life tried to make a play off of that. That was a lot invested there by KT. But Humble Life can also just choke out the vision and wait for some of the face check.
Oh, that's exactly what they want to do. They get the flash out of Duck Dom in trade for Peanut's ult.
They can just keep doing this.
Yeah.
Right, I think their zone control actually is pretty dangerous, but they don't want to overstep their bounds. Instead, just going to take it easy from there on out.
I think that's fine. Holding on to a pretty comfortable lead, 3,000 gold. It's not huge, but you've got your Sivir scaling out of control, just picked up a third item.
Yeah, that is a big issue. Even though, doesn't it feel like Knight or AD Carry has actually played that big a role? I know Viper played a really good Corki game, but it just like... Remember when AD Carries were the main character?
Yeah,
Maybe
they were
this is
for a
the
little
game.
bit.
You know, I'm just saying, this is the series. There is a certain player on Hanwha Life that I think has been very instrumental thus far.
I mean, the junglers are the main carries now.
No, that's not.
Of the playoffs.
That's not who I was talking about, though.
Yeah, but
Talking about justice for supports.
no.
The Delight has been so good.
No, I don't think so. No. Junglers are the main characters right now. It's all about the jungle. Supports are just, they're clicking their buttons.
I know Peanut. Oh, hold up.
Oh boy, TP coming in.
That's Zeka.
KT are scrambling. It looks like Peter is going to be sacrificed, and maybe even BDD on top of it, as there it is. He tries to dodge and tries to run away, but he's not fast enough. The damage from Zeka is there. They get 2 kills just like that, and that should be Baron.
I don't think there's a lot they can do. Perfect has TP, but do you really want to TP your Rumble in? No, instead they're going to set up Soul Point. I think that's a fine call here, but we'll see if Humble Life is actually going to give it to them. Because they're starting it up here, but there is a... Oh! Okay, that would have been crazy.
No, not even going to smite it.
Peanut has ult. They're not even going to get Dragon. Oh, no.
Yep. HLE get everything, and KT, they don't get to pass go. They go straight to jail. You know, whatever you want to say, they just get nothing. They lose a couple of guys, and everything is falling apart for them in game 2.
Is that a Monopoly reference?
Yes.
I would have expected better if you felt this. You're a better man than that.
It's hard to make a Spirit Island reference.
Well, no, you should.
Okay.
No, you can. You find a way.
It is possible.
A really nice collapse here from Hanwha Life. And what I really want to highlight is that it's obviously BDD and Peter that go down. But this is the payoff of Hanwha Life going for those continuous invades, setting up that vision. They're playing a very slow and controlled game, which, even though there's been a decent amount of kills, it feels like they have just been very in control thus far. That's a lot of CC onto the light, but no.
No, he's fine.
I think this game is cooked. If you can't kill the support, he's okay. I hadn't actually... So we talk about the pedal, but Delight is 3 levels up, Valdez.
Yeah.
3!
3, and he has a whole second item finished, plus a Null Magic Mantle. He's actually unkillable, it feels like. He's got Exhaust, Flash, Redemption,
He's got
Locket.
such tanky items.
Yeah. No,
Such
he's
a tanky
crazy.
Keystone.
It's crazy.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless they get the craziest pick onto Viper here, and even that alone is not enough, because there's still Zeus. There's still Zeka. I guess Zeka doesn't have as much damage as the other two, but he's still in a long fight canoe. And there's a fat Pantheon as well.
Delight just going in. He says, Duck Dom, you do not have your flash. And the follow-up is gigantic from Zeka on top of it, as the damage is insane at this point in time. They're just rolling over KT Rolster, who did not have a chance. Everybody will bite the dust, and Hanwha Esports will crush them here in game number 2 and bring us to 2-0 in the series, actually 1 game away from making the grand finals.
Actually, in playoffs is just a little different. As it turns out, Peanut with a wry smile. If he would have been fully smiling if he got that Pana, but unfortunately that's not the case. For KT, it's hard to really start anywhere, because what I was expecting to be the most lopsided matchup actually hasn't mattered at all, because it hasn't been about the top laners. It's been about jungle and support. And BDB is
about
on
the jungle, I agree.
And no, support. Sorry, support and jungle, my bad. For leading with that one.
Sure.
And it's not even like it feels like Peter's having a tough time. It's just Hanwha Life is on another level, right? Like the cohesion is different, the objective setup is incredible, and we're not seeing the KT that we saw in the series against Gen G, where they're able to find these really creative angles. I think the drafts haven't quite had the same spark that they did in that series. I don't think so. Because I think that you have Cassante, who is able to drag her out. You have Nocturne, that's going to make it really hard for the rest of your team. I don't know. I'm just going to enjoy the fact that we're having to deal sport again. If you haven't seen it, it used to be all the rage with the Halo Blades. You're very strong in the early levels. And your R is going to get a lot of value. Also, Delight playing something fun, I will enjoy. But really, all this does is make me believe that a game 4 is possible, Valdez. That's what it's doing.
Well, apparently there was a baseball game between Hanwha and KT today, which Hanwha did win. We'll see if the same can happen here over at League of Legends. Currently is looking that way as we are ready. Let's hop into the Rift for game number 3.
시간사에 합격해 오신 것을 환영합니다.
So do we have a change in build? Is it going to be like Spellbook Camille? Are we go? No, that's Halo Blades. Alrighty.
She does the attack fast in a burst.
Oh yeah. And Yunara has had a really interesting development, because remember before she came out, a lot of pros were like, I don't know, her laning phase is rough. And then Rude was like, no, you are all bad. It's broken.
Her laning phase is actually maybe the best.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
Oh, we're doing it again. It's fine. It's fine. I liked
It's fine.
I liked it more in the other setup. Because to me, I know Smolder top can be very obnoxious to play into, but Mbessa is one of those picks where, I guess for the first couple of levels, she doesn't really have the skills or the haste to bounce around as much. So you will probably still be fine, and Smolder gets to stack a little bit. I do worry a little bit about the 2v2 in bot, though. I'll have to see. Camille does obviously have a ton of damage available.
Well,
Yeah.
just going in, taking trades with Halo Blades, and if you are a melee champion, you do not survive.
No, you don't. Not the best level 1 trade I've ever seen here for KT. Really hurting my my confidence in that promised game 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least Doctor will be stacking nicely, so that's something. But it's kind of, you know how Mbessa doesn't get that many hops? Like, I think that Doctor doesn't get to, you get to stack a decent amount. But for me, Smolder is, yeah, there you go. Is one of those champions that I think really excels when you can just stack in mid-game. Because early game, like, you just don't have that many ways to stack consistently compared to when you get a couple of points, right? You use different skills. As that
DK
throwback.
Kellen.
That's a throwback. spring playoffs. So that's the last time we still saw the Camille support come out. I feel like it is pretty self-explanatory. It has a really impressive laning phase. And you have guaranteed lockdown with your ultimate when it comes to it.
Let me ask you a question, Chronicler. Which one do you like more, Camille or Rammus support?
I think this is really mean. I don't think this is necessary.
Uh-huh.
You didn't have to bring that back up.
I was just curious. I just want, we've seen a lot of weird new picks in the support lane, support position, especially engaged supports in Fearless when we get into later games.
No, you know what you did.
Wow.
Oh, tempo barrier there for Viper. Like it a lot. Make sure that he can get the recall off. No, rude. As a
so,
he might be in
what's
trouble.
The answer?
No!
Here's Delight, and he's going to flash on in, but BDD can easily answer the double flash with his own flash.
And that's a bit of a mistake from Zeka. A split second later on his stun, and that play ends up working.
Does Zeus go down? Here's the question. The flash auto from the Nautilus should just get it done, but Peter might be going down as he had to use the flash to get it done. But some assists, and at least Viper's here to get the wave.
That was very close to not working. Peter, actually, that was a crazy curved hook. The fact he got the hook there onto Zeus, I think, saves that play. Otherwise, it's a bit of a disaster. Instead, the trade comes through. Nocturne getting a kill is great, though. You always want to try and get those as early as possible. Because if we take another look here, as highlighted, Nocturne's not the best dive champion. It's pretty telegraphed. But Peter obviously is quite strong. Watch the hook that comes through here. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But that's the one that allows them to actually take them down. There's definitely enough damage. Dogdom also was in the solo lane, so he actually was decently leveled. Gold not really going to change substantially, but that was 2 flashes invested for just BDDs. So again, Zeka, if he's a split second later there, and Delight actually does get his, which he did well, the flashy off. He also knocked back the Rise, and the initial stun comes in, so like, I think he's just always dead. Doesn't end up happening though, is nice.
Ooh, Slurkle kill. You don't see those every day.
Not you two.
I mean, we're just all on the Slurkle hype train.
Not all. Not all.
Very hyped for it. It's a fantastic addition to our league.
He hooked him out of hookshot there. Nicely done, Peter.
Yeah.
Kind of on fire here early on.
Well, he knows that somebody's got to make the plays, and the Nautilus selected here to deal with the Unara, but also just very good at making plays. Plant some hooks, get some flashes going, make some plays.
And he's been, I think Peter has been really performing admirably throughout the whole day. As the plate comes through. And that remind everyone, both these teams are still in the upper bracket. Winner is guaranteed to be in the grand final in Incheon. And the loser will be playing the winner of tomorrow's match, which is a toss-up between T1 and Gen.G, and also not the expected. Not even lower bracket final, it's just lower bracket.
Yeah. And this is just going to be secured by Peanut. You do see the Destiny coming out here, so actually trying to make a play on a Peanut who is very far behind enemy lines.
Very dead.
And no execution will be coming through. They can easily give this kill over to the carry, who is BDD. It's pretty nice. They got some leads in mid and in jungle now, even ahead of the TF.
And Zeka also using his ultimate there, doesn't actually get any value out of it. Nocturne gets another stack of his ultimate hunter, and really the only price KT have to pay is that the top side had to be abandoned because Dogdom can't stay there by himself, and obviously they overloaded the bottom half of the map. So there's going to be a plate. Not really going to make that much of a difference in gold, but I do think KT are feeling good about how this early game is playing out, and the TF that's even is behind. So thus far, not too much that Zeka has been able to find, and because with a lead is also something I think KT fans are going to be very happy about.
Yeah, he gets level 6 and has been going for the Hex plate pretty consistently when he does play this pick. And we'll see what that looks like as we do come along in this game. Very excited for TF to try to cast his ult and get value just to have Paranoia in his face. We'll see if Cuz can be proactive and try to make plays. You were talking about who's going to dive with the Nocturne. We'll have to wait and see if maybe it can be Nautilus, maybe it can be Rise. I suppose Cassante can get in there as well. But even just denying Zeka playmaking ability and being proactive with that paranoia could be worth it.
A lot of issues that both teams need to solve here. We do see that the Light has not been able to really get the most out of the Camille support. Again, is one of those picks where I think you really want to try and play for lane a lot. This is his ultimate available, but doesn't look like Zeka is within range. We'll have to see. I don't know if KT can contest this. Smolder has to catch the wave. They do have Cassante on the way. Zeus has TP, so this could end up being a 5v5.
I mean, Peter is just running on in there as in will go Cuz as well. That is secured by Delight, of all people. So going to pick up that.
Huh.
I'm not sure how that managed to happen.
That's not like one.
Yeah.
Giving over a kill, you get 2 grubs. It's not even one. Even 3 grubs, I don't think is necessarily worth it.
Yeah.
But Cuz is popping off early on. That's another kill in the books for him. So I don't know if they were like hoping to get something going here, but it's very straightforward. I think Dokkan would have liked the kill, try to get it, but killing him there as fast as possible definitely makes sense. It's Peanut maybe looking for a play here as they do spot them out, but Nocturne's there.
Yeah.
So the coverage comes through, and that's the second ultimate from Zeka. And neither ult really finding anything. Does mean that things are looking okay as BDD stays rushing, and he's just fine. They're not finding a lot here, or Hanwha.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good, Valdez. These are promising signs.
All right, just gonna flash and press our buttons on a duck dom. The hook shot is going to force the flash away. As the turret shot taken here, we got a Rise looking to join the party. BDD does have his flash. In he goes on to Delight, who is not having a lot of fun. BDD taking a long time to take the kill, but eventually will. And it is another good play for BDD.
And Zeka can't do the play because he used his flash, or his ultimate earlier there. BDD still at his Realm Warp, and as I was saying, good signs. As the aggression there from Delight and Viper doesn't quite end up panning out. Should have seen that one coming though, like given that your TF is looking to base and doesn't have his ultimate available, very aggressive player, good exhauster onto Viper, I think otherwise Dokkan might have just died. And then there we have Dokkan also with a good flash to not get hook shot, which again would have taken him down as well. But you need just flashing to secure the kill, not giving the opportunity for the TF to roam up. And Zeka also decides that, yeah, there isn't really a play to be made there. So the gold lead for KT, it's there. It's nothing major. And we have to see how the actual fights play out, but it's a good start. We haven't talked about top lane yet, though. And that is not going to get better.
Yeah, top lane, schmop lane.
No, that is a Bessa. That is a problem.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's just sitting there getting free farm and chilling out, essentially.
Living his best life.
He got Eclipse. He is a champion. And Perfect is laning against Viper. So, not feeling very good. It's not the biggest lead we have on the Rift. That one will go to Cuz, who is very far ahead of the Sejuani. Peanut's going to have a very delayed hard steal in this game.
I wonder if they're trying to set up a bait here with Zeka posturing that far forward, knowing Nocturne's around. Hanwha Life obviously want to play for this Dragon. Double Dragon will be big. Allow them to kind of bolster up the team as well. And there are still a lot of great Drakes available. And they are going to start it up here. Both Rise and Mbessa have teleport available. Zeka almost has his ult. KT, I do think they're going to look for the contest here, but they don't have a lot of river control.
Yeah, it's going to feel a bit forced from them. The Slurkle's going to hit Peter, and so will the gold card. As Paranoia does come out, they just engage on a Peter. As that front line is being torn to shreds by the Smolder, though. It's 2 kills to the Mbessa and Zeus. Look at Viper as well, moving forward. As now the shredding going the way of Hanwha Life Esports. Viper flashes away and gets to safety and snipes him down alongside of Zeus.
It's a triple!
looking for more. Will it be another Quadra? No, that's taken by Viper.
Viper!
As he denies it, he will not get a Penta this time around. At least it wasn't Peanut, as he is dead. Flash over the wall. Duck Dom is basically just Ambessa food as Zeus picks up 4 kills. And we were just talking about the top lane, Chronicler.
Viper, you scumbag! don't give me the, oh, I tried to get, no! Did not need to do that. As we take another look here, the fight set of the engage onto Peanut is okay, but I think there's a lot of time being bought there. And the people that are getting shredded are not the members that matter. It's the Camille as well as the Sejuani. So Viper's unchecked. Really doesn't take any risk there with the flash to make sure he doesn't get hit by the slow from the Smolder Sneeze. And, you know, I get it. You're Yunara. Come on, man. Come on, give the Ambessa the Penta. And now, I don't even think he gets the Quadra because it's too long.
Yeah.
Because he didn't get that kill.
Unofficial Quadra. Now the second Quadra of sorts. Peanuts one was official on the Pantheon.
I have an update regarding my feelings.
Okay.
I am feeling worse about Game 4.
You're feeling great about your prediction, though. Prediction.
Yeah, but I mean, can I be honest with everyone?
You've just got such a great read on the players and the teams.
I can't believe you never let me live that one down.
Never.
I actually don't care that much. I know that's a big meme.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. They're trying to kill Zeus here, and they might just be able to. The fear comes in. Zeus is just hitting the wave. He's like, well,
I'm dead.
I'm up here. I don't have flash. Like, I'm just dead. Meanwhile, Hanwha Life Esports trying to take down the mid-tier 1. They will not be able to. So, just a bit of damage being done. KT are striking back and are keeping this one close.
Wait. Hold up.
Yeah, I don't know. It's all a bait.
Okay, well,
question mark?
Cuz is dead.
Yeah.
So I guess it is.
It was all a bait. Good job by Zeka.
What is happening?
I suppose. Take a look at the mid lane, though, as that one is going down to Duck Dumb and Peter. They're just kind of getting free farm, so is BDD.
Is this solo queue or what is going on?
Yes. Yes, a solo queue.
We got people TPing to where there's a Camille support in my game. It's very confusing. Cuz is dead. That's most of the gold lead for KT. So without Cuz, they can't fight. That's going to be Herald being taken. I feel like Zeka should not be continuously getting away with it, but it is. But he is, and I don't really know how. But he's also up almost 1,000 gold, and it will be if he gets his turret, which Perfect's going to make sure that that doesn't happen. How did he TP away from BDD? Like, how did that happen?
I think BDD just didn't get there on time.
Maybe, yeah. Or maybe he used his route before.
Yeah, it's possible. Don't know if we're going to get a replay of it, since it was essentially just him TPing to the top lane. Did bait in Cuz?
The bait worked. Yeah. They didn't get perfect as well. That would have been even better, but I don't think they're going to be complaining too much. As Viper, yeah, so the Ambessa is the big talking point, but there is also the almost 1k gold up Yunara that is a big problem. Cole's now cashed in. Zeka is just on a ward.
This mid-game for Hanwha Life Esports is going to be
there's
pretty insane.
There's Shojin.
Shojin's is done. It's 2-item Ambessa. And the biggest issue about this mid-game is that it's Hextech Soul.
Yes.
And they have Double Dragon.
Yes.
So you're just accelerating so fast as Hanwha Life Esports. And as Duck Dom, you're like, guys, please, I just want to get my stacks, but you just don't have time.
You do not. Well, so I think it's the Smolder special where you just say, okay, you can have this Drake, and next Drake will get you.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they can fight. I know that the gold lead doesn't look that big, but most of the gold is on Nocturne.
Yeah. That's why you don't only look at the gold leads.
Yes.
That's why we try to explain the intricate details.
And then TF will, I mean, Zeka might actually hit 2 items for this next upcoming fight, although he is still in jungle, so maybe he doesn't have the gold. But they're so strong. I don't really think you can fight here. Hexgate's going to allow them to take control of this pit as well. Viper is just able to hold Prio 1v2 there. And they're going to try and fight this. If you lose this fight, that's it. I think you just get knocked down to the lower bracket. This is going to be a breaking point in the game. If they do deny the dragon, maybe just Cuz goes in and you get the Drake. That, I think, is fine. But if you lose an actual fight, like mid lane turret's going to be gone. And I don't think Smolder is going to be able to stack up whatsoever.
We have Rift Herald as well for Peanut.
Just play for the gold. Oh, God.
Zeka's actually chunking, as now they're just going to ult onto him, and Zeka kind of just laughs and says, okay, cool.
Yeah, I got TP.
You got the turret, you got the TP. I didn't think the TP would come through, but it did.
Yeah.
And the Drake goes over to Hanwha Esports, which KT were going to give up anyway.
Not bad for KT. Obviously not what you want to have happen, but the Small Bear and Rise comp does, as it turns out, need time to get to the point where they are big threats as top lane.
Yeah. I believe. I think he's got some really good
Oh, okay.
I don't think it lasts this long.
No, it doesn't.
He's like, no, I gotta get the farm.
That's a true top laner right there, by the way.
I can't miss the farm.
He'll get the charge anyway. It's fine.
Yeah.
He will.
No.
No.
Realm Warp, though. Baits out the Realm Warp. And, yeah, I feel like we're really digging deep to try to find angles for KT Rolster, but I'm not seeing them.
I'm having a tough time, Velda.
Yeah, I don't think there are very many angles. And you might say, oh, it's only 2,000 gold and it's a TF. There's a chance, surely.
Thanks, Peanut. He knows we needed that one. It's kind of funny because I feel like in the last two games, Hanwha Life to me were just kind of like a machine. They were clean, and I'm not saying KT didn't have any good plays, particularly game one. I think they really were able to find a lot of counter punches. But I think Hanwha Life looked clean. They looked calculated, very methodical. Always had a plan. This game we're doing a lot more freestyling. We got Peanut just trying to like drift on the people. Zeka has had like 4, and like he said, he's a good plays. He has 6 out of 7 kills he's been involved in. But it just none of the classic TF ones.
Ooh.
And is it gonna matter when Dokdom hits the stacks? Because they do have Ambessa, TF, and Camille support. Camille is going to like hookshot in from 3 screens away, press flash, and then press R on Dokdom. That is gonna that is an inevitability.
Yeah. At least everybody will be burning as he dies. If they all pile in,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, if they just like all engage in a straight line.
Yeah. Which probably won't happen.
The problem is, like, again, I think the gold lead, even the compositions, it doesn't feel that bad, but then you look at where the gold is,
yeah,
and the map state, and it is just rough, Veldes. Yeah, this is just Otacon gone.
The comps as well, it's taken too long for KT to do anything, and now they're scrambling, trying to get some vision in here. But it gets denied immediately. They saw it was at 8K, now it's at 3K, cuz he's gotta just try to send it. In he goes, he's not going to get it. And the hook here in onto TF doesn't do much of anything. Zeka doesn't have that RFC just yet, but I mean, they got the Otacon. They're totally fine with this. As now the re-engage comes in, that's on to Cassante. Yeah, there it is, comes in. He pressed the buttons, he actually did it. Peter is just dead, as Delight will be as well. But still, look at the health bar. Zeka gets into the backline, they take out the Smolder, they deny the Realm Warp, which is gigantic, as Viper is just rolling over the entire team and takes them down. It's a full ace for Hanwha Esports.
And now Viper gets denied the Penta because Zeka got into the backline. Took down Dokdom first. I love foreshadowing. As Delight did the exact thing. Nice attempt here from Cuz. I understand the reasoning for KT. You can look at this and be like, guys, why are we You can't just keep giving everything up. They look for the steal, but I do think they should have just dipped immediately. I don't know why we're meandering there. And even though Perfect is able to kind of shrug it up, look at Delight, comes in from a mile away, even with Sayes missing the ult and Delight going down. Zeka's like, thank you, picks up the kill. And then here, Peanut with the flash Q to ensure that they don't get out. And when Otacon was taken, we kind of knew. Now we really know. It's done. It's just a sweep.
It's just a sweep. Hanwha Esports looking like the strongest team by far in the playoffs.
Don't give me the KT fan cam, no. Don't do that.
Production has been so brutal, so ruthless.
That's esports.
In recent times especially, they're like, no, I need to find the crying fan and put them on camera immediately.
Yeah, that happened to me in the 50+ series as well.
Yeah.
It's great stuff. That's sports.
Yeah.
The ups and downs.
The roller coaster.
The roller coaster.
Yeah. Zeka does have Roa, but so does BDD. And BDD is not even level 14. The Rise is taking forever to get online as Peter looks to just be dead. No hope for him. Just trying to get some vision, I guess, right before this Hextech Soul goes over to HLE.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we can talk about it, but like at this point. Because this is your moment. You have triple Scryer. Come on, buddy.
He's
we're not doing
even
it.
going to try.
We're not doing the thing.
I think he should have done the thing.
I think he should have done the thing. There's no Baron up yet.
Yeah.
So I think you could have gotten away with it. Yeah, there's no Baron. It's Hextech Soul on TF Yunara.
Yeah.
Huh.
Makes you wonder, you know, where's the magic? What happened to KT? I do think it's a combination of Gen G, especially their mid-jungle, not performing very well, and BDD and Cuz having a huge day out. The drafts being much better.
It's both, right? And I think that it's really, to me, is such a cool showcase. And I think we've seen this with so many teams in playoffs of... Even though we have teams like Gen G and T1 for a larger part of the second half of the year, Hanwha Life for the first half, that look so much better. The margins really aren't that big. And on the best day of one team versus a worst day of another, crazy things can happen. The KT Magic struck big time in the previous series, and no one is going to deny that they were the better team in that series. I remember there was one game that they definitely also should have won that it didn't end up, so like the series as a whole felt very KT-sided. Doctam has hit his stack, so that's nice.
Nice.
Maybe we get a crazy overextension from Hanwha Life. They all funnel into Doctam. He has flash.
Zeus has Death Stance.
I know. I didn't.
He just got his third item.
I know, and it's so broken. And Bessa with Death Stance is not okay.
It's actually crazy.
It's disgusting. But I think that the KT Magic, it was there, and it can come back. I just don't think we're getting it today. That's all.
Yeah, no, it's the magic only lasts for so long.
It does, yeah. At some point, what's the expression? You turn back into the pumpkin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that is, in this case, they turn back into the roller coaster. But they always are the roller coaster, so I feel like the analogy doesn't really work.
Eventually, you realize the Easter Bunny doesn't exist.
Oh, hey.
You're like,
I don't know about that.
Yeah, true. I guess there are some of us out there, like Chronicler, who still believe.
Yes, famously.
Yeah. Famous
Look
Easter
at
Bunny
the
enjoyer.
setup here. It's hard to approach, but they have to try and fight.
Well, they're going to seize Zeus at least.
Will it matter?
They're going to spot him as the turn. Yeah, Peter just flashing on in. They're going to engage onto pretty much anyone as the paranoia does come out. And now they're just going to turn on a Zeka who did Destiny into the team by himself. And he's just going to flash away.
Uh-oh.
And now they're just getting corralled. They're all running away. He's got a gold card out again as the slow is coming in from the Hextech Dragon Soul. And in they go. They find Doctam, and in goes Delight. He dies immediately. It doesn't matter. He already did his job. Perfect. Doesn't have the damage. HLE, they will be going to the grand finals at Inspire Arena. With this one-team fight, they crush the hopes of all of KT.
And Hanwha Life, for the entirety of the second half of the split, round 3 to 5, they were not in the same league as T1 and Gen G. And now they are undefeated in playoffs, made their way into the grand finals. And I mean, they're going to do a thing.
Yeah, they're not ending. Okay.
They're getting Nash. I think that's fine as well. But attempt to turn here onto Zeka, just cleanses, flashes away, ensures that he can't be engaged on, and that's the end of it. And then obviously, if we get an actual extended fight, there's just no way to live here as Delight, another flash ultimate. Doctam not going to have the best of time, and I really, if they were planning on playing this more, I just can't believe that they're bringing it out, like the Camille support, because it feels like, obviously, there are a lot of circumstances that need to hit. But there really isn't that much counterplay when you have a little bit of dive to go with it, and that is something that, unlike the KT comp, Hanwha Life have in spades. As level 16 for Viper, And
They really are doing a victory lap.
I don't think this series is lasting much longer, Valdez.
No. 24 stacks on Majais for Zeka.
Oh my god.
GA finished for Viper. And yeah, the series is over. The game is over.
It's done.
HLE just having some fun. You know, they want to make 100% sure. It's not just fun, right? They want to get the Baron, they want to get the full push off and make sure they don't mess anything up. And make sure they book that ticket right here, right now.
For KT, they'll be waiting in the lower bracket finals.
All right, there it is. Gonna find Duckdom actually with the ult and absolutely shred them down. As Viper taking the turret, doesn't seem to care. He's got the GA. So we got another triple kill coming out here. He's just gonna realm warp out of this one. And as we knew, HLE gonna take down the series 3-0, undefeated so far in the playoffs. As Viper not able to get the kill. HLE will be going to our grand finals of the LCK.
And you see a giggle as well there from Doug, because what can you do? When Hanwha Life is playing this well, this team, reigning LCK champions, current first-stand champion, that's a while back, but when you see them perform like this, like, oh yeah, of course they are. As you know, these players, I think, also had their moments today. Actually, the whole team able to have an impact. As Hanwha Life gets a chance, a guaranteed chance to defend their LCK title at the Inspiring a bit. For me, there's another thing, and you know who I voted for. We gotta give it to him, right? Surely Delight gets his POF. No, Valdez.
I'm like, Viper? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that. As Peanut holds up the jersey, it will be his last match in LoL Park before he does go off to the army, as he did announce on his stream.
Zeka, his return to form also needs to be noted. Definitely had a weak summer. Really felt like it was only parts of Hanwha, particularly Viper and Zeus, that I think were able to really keep it together. But the engages of Delight, the team fighting of Viper, as Zeka's mom cheering on yet again.
Delight mom.
Amazing.
As well. The whole family's together. As Peanut gives one final wave.
Oh.
That's gotta be a special kind of feeling. Especially because you just booked your ticket into grand finals. Like his year isn't over.
Oh,
like
no.
It's only, now we're really getting to the good part of Peanut. It's just, obviously, this will be his final moments at LoL Park, so already got a bunch of crying fans.
Wonder how that feels, as Zeus not able to stay alive here early on, but none of it really ended up mattering. For KT, I think were a lot of questions after the series that they fought against Gen G. Not about them winning that one, but about how would their form continue. And I think that today was a combination of kind of coming back down to earth. KT for a large part of the season wasn't really able to replicate the highs that it did in the Gen G series. But I think one of the main other talking points is going to be that it felt like their drafts really hit a high during that series. We didn't really see any of that here. Now, part of that I think might also be it's the Hanwha Life's prep, because I do think that their drafting has been the best, really, in the entirety of the playoffs, which is why they haven't been defeated.
They haven't lost.
They're ongoing,
and they might not at all. If they go to grand finals and we have any other team make it, even if it's like Gen G return to form, I don't know. Like, I think HLE are just the favorites after what we've seen from the playoffs. And that really just comes down to current form. Like, if you look at the regular season, obviously Gen G should be favorites. But right now, I can't quite say that that will be the case. So very curious to see how it's all going to pan out. You know, maybe Gen G or T1 have an excellent best of 5 against the other one.
Yeah.
And then we're like, ooh, okay, we got a real challenger here.
Oh,
or maybe KT ever return to form in lower finals and they make it. That would be interesting, the rematch between these two.
That will be the case. We'll see if it's a return to order, right? The tier list coming through again. But also what this means for the depth of the LCK. The fact that KT was able to beat Gen G, the fact that Hanwha, despite looking a little rough in the second half of the split, just have this type of bounce back. Gonna make you believe that this team can do some crazy stuff at Worlds with, and even last year, even last year, I think that the did end up losing to BLG, but that series was